Dorian Yates versus Ronnie Coleman? What made me revisit this old feud? Well, it is Thursday, so Throwback Thursday. 2 weeks in a row. Maybe we'll continue this. Couple of throwback bodybuilders here. 1993, of course, for Dorian Yates. All you Dorianites, you guys swear by this version. Hey, he's awesome. Then you got Ronnie King Coleman, 1998. Still till this very day, some people consider 98 better than 99 or 2003. And you watch the video footage of those three. I believe Superset Man made a video, all them versions side by side. 98 kind of does stick out in a way. Sizing these two dudes is always going to be a venture. Apologize. 1996. Aside from Sean Ray, that was in between them. I just deleted him and scooched Ronnie Coleman over. I mean, they were standing side by side. Have a look at the backs. And they're pretty, close. They size up. Dorian appears to be harder, grainier. King Coleman has a lot of back. But that's 96. And let's go to the first pose of these two versions, 1993, 1998. And in both cases, I believe the 93 Yates was bigger and better than in 96. And the 98 Ronnie King Coleman better than he was in 1996 as well. Front double bicep. This is generally a Ronnie Coleman pose. In a way it is. In other aspects, and don't hit thumbs down. Oh, I guess you can't anymore. That's a shame. But in a way, Dorian is winning this pose. No, he's not winning the pose overall. He's winning on certain aspects. You can't see the calves, but he's winning on that. Forearms. Look how much shorter his forearms are. Ronnie Coleman's arms are a little bit gangly when you compare the arm length. I mean, those are nice, short, choppy forearms, but look at the peaks. Look at the peaks on Coleman. He just takes care of the, extra long arms there. Torso, I actually like Dorian Yates. Look at the V-taper, look at the lats. But at the end of the day, of course, bigger wheels as well. But like I said earlier, calves, way better for Yates. Not a blowout front lat spread. And this is going to be the same thing as the front double. It was actually pretty close. And to all you Dorianites, no, don't worry. He's not losing the front lat spread. You can see those lats. They look like huge tumors. But aside from that, it's the maybe Ronnie Coleman not being as symmetrical that gets him a loss because he is very detailed in this one. Yates might not have the separation, but when you do take a close look, Yates very hard, grainy, and I mean condition is the word of the day. Both of these guys in tremendous condition. So very close, going to Yates in the front lat, and the front double was going to Coleman. So a tie game, go to the side, and this is an obvious blowout. This is just the weakest pose for Yates, and maybe one of the best ones for Ronnie Coleman. Of course, they both of them, 3 or 4 of their shots, or maybe even more, are their best poses. I mean, definitely, no, goes without saying, even a Dorianite would bow down to the king in this one. Then you go to the side tricep, and it makes it all that much more interesting, because this is equal domination for Dorian Yates. This is an awesome shot. Those short, choppy arms come into play here. You see that? Wow. And when you do look close, guys, this might be a decision maker too. Look at the condition, that fish skin, scaly, of Yates. You see what I'm saying? He didn't have the muscle separation like a lot of the guys, but he was Stone Phillips. Anyway, let's go to the back in Mark's Max muscle order, because I'm going to do a poll shortly, guys, and we're going to decide the future of this channel. In what order I hit the poses. IFBB order or Mark's Max muscle. Anyway, back development. The lat spreads, there wasn't the best pictures for footage for the 93 or the 98 King Coleman, for that matter. I mean, this is a decent shot for Coleman, but Yates, it's all shadowy, dark. Can't really see much other than maybe a harder, grainier back, but King Coleman has a couple of mountain peaks for traps and a butterfly buttocks. I'm not saying a big buttocks badonkadonk is going to win the match, but Yates is equally conditioned, maybe even more so, actually. Here is one more shot at the rear lat spread, and you can see what I'm saying, guys. It's hard to find pitchers that match up. But, I mean, if this is what it would be like, King Coleman, he's so much bigger that he might actually get an edge over the harder, grainier Yates. And don't worry, Dorian Yates, I'm not saying he's losing this shot. I'm just saying if you were forced to choose, it's a very, very difficult choice to make. Anyway, can't spend all day. I'm sure the judges are glad that these two weren't dueling it out in their primes. Rear double bicep. Now this one I'd be inclined to believing that Yates is a little bit better. Can you believe I've never done this comparison before? Of all the different versions of Yates and Coleman Yates? Never once. Yeah, look guys. The rear double, or the rear lat rather, showed Coleman's traps. They were much bigger, but it's the lower traps they're being displayed here. The lower end of the traps, and Yates really showing his condition as well in that Christmas tree area. Not as symmetrical, maybe? I don't know. When you look at the delts, I guess they're more symmetrical for Yates. Actually, Yates is a beast when it comes to those shoulder muscles. Fantastic. If there was a argument for who has the better back, I guess the Christmas tree pose could be a tiebreaker, the rubber match, if you will, and Yates is bullying King Coleman. With all due respect, hey, there can be two kings. I guess you'd have to decide which one's the better king. Dorian is king in this shot, guys. Even you King Colemanites, you Colemanites, I'm sure you guys would agree to that. It's just a harder, much grainier, much more conditioned back, even in the badonkadonk. And Dorian wasn't known for a badonkadonk, but when you do look at the lineups, even against Sean Ray, when he did flex his bum, it was probably the hardest and grainiest out there. Bounce a quarter off that buttocks, I'm here to tell you. Go to the abs and thigh. Still up in the air? Could be. This abs and thigh shot, I'm sure there'd be some judges somewhere that would look strictly at the obliques and ab separation and the quads as well, and give this one to King Coleman, not me. I think Dorian Yates possesses one of the best abs and thigh poses. Doesn't have the massive quads, but you notice he has a huge teardrop. Freakish teardrops. Massive, if you will. What a good matchup, guys. And I know you guys are going to make me choose. Most muscular, and this is only making it more difficult for my decision. Kind of up in the air. This is a dominant shot. And wait, you Dorianites, before you go ahead and comment, as I know about a half a dozen of you are just ready to, comment this. The most muscular was not a mandatory shot back in the day. Not even in Coleman's day, 98. I think it was 2004, where it became a mandatory shot. But let's face it, the judges definitely looked at it, and you should look at it, even in the crab position. In both cases, the hands clasped, and the crab position, Ronnie King Coleman, it's night and day. He is a much better bodybuilder in that pose. Who's the better bodybuilder overall? Like I said, you guys are going to make me choose, and I preach this before I go ahead and, break half of your guys' hearts. Anyway, when it comes to a matchup this close, nobody can say, oh, here's why he's better and he won for sure, or this is why he's the winner, and there's no doubt about it. Well, there's always going to be a doubt between Ronnie King Coleman, Dorian Yates. So, no, there's no real for sure thing. Nobody's winning by a mile. But much like the real IFBB judges, No, I am not one, but much like them, I have to award a winner. And the other guy, I don't want to call him a loser, but I guess one's going to be the winner. And this time, it is Yates. Dorian Yates. I just believe that the hard, grainy condition of the back development would be the clincher. And I think the judges, if, you could brainwash some judges and make it so they've never heard of these two bodybuilders and get a time machine as well. So you'll need a couple of pieces of equipment. It's going to be expensive, but go back in time, pluck these guys from the timeline, make them compete against each other. I actually think it might go to Yates. There was some gyno involved too, but I don't like to mention that. Might mark it down on the score sheet, but I like to mention it. Hit thumbs up on the video. I know at least half you guys are going to disagree with it, and let me know in the comments section below. Because you can't hit thumbs downs anymore, and that's terrible. I know. I like to know if you guys are disgusted by some of my decisions or things of that nature. Have a great day.
Peeled.